Oumuamua. 2017 was a banner year for the UFO/UAP community. Not only was the existence of ATIP, the government's secret program focused on studying UAPs, was revealed to the public, but also the first known interstellar object passed through our solar system in extreme close proximity to Earth. But it's taken until 2020, early 2021, to truly reveal what is taking place. The scientists and scholars that have studied the object seem to all agree it is by far the strangest thing they've ever seen. Ever since the day Oumuamua was discovered at Haleakala Observatory in Hawaii, it has been studied with great
veracity.
I was lucky enough to watch a sunrise with my wife from the top of that beautiful volcanic crater years ago. Oumuamua roughly translates to scout in Hawaiian. Despite all of the focused attention, there isn't even an actual clear picture of Oumuamua. We rely on artists' renderings. These are just visual interpretations using the various peripherally collected measurements and observations as a means to give the object shape, which only are a guess as to what the surface actually looks like. I guarantee that the image circulating in the media of Oumuamua is taken by many as an actual NASA photo, but it's not. The properties exhibited by Oumuamua are all highly unusual. Here are the main aspects about the object that are so perplexing. Number 1, Oumuamua seems to be porous. This could seemingly be due to the process by which it was formed. Similar to the fractal structure that manifests in snowflakes, Oumuamua's makeup suggests regular spaced cavities throughout its structure. Buoyancy somehow. Number 2, it's much longer than it is wide. Cigar-shaped, in fact.
Sound familiar?
No other object that has been discovered is 5 to 10 times longer than it is wide. That's just not a naturally occurring shape in cosmic terms, according to the scientists. Number 3, its brightness is also not typical of rocky celestial objects. Oumuamua is 10 times more reflective than objects such as comets and asteroids. This highly reflective surface is but one more confounding feature. Number 4, the top and bottom surfaces are almost completely flat. This aspect is just uncanny.
Elongated, cavity-filled, cigar-shaped, highly reflective, flat dorsally and ventrally. I don't know.
Science does have a precedent for a proposed spacecraft design which uses its flattened surface area to collect light particles which are then used as fuel for the craft. The invention is called a solar or light sail, and it seems to be a very efficient way of getting around the universe. Number 5. As Oumuamua passed by the sun, it got a sudden and prolonged boost of speed, which changed its trajectory. This type of event has never been witnessed in nature. It was easily able to overcome the escape velocity of the sun. This means the object is charting its own course and not bound by local gravitational forces. Typical objects such as comets don't display this ability. Number 6. From Earth's perspective, Oumuamua descended from above and passed right between the orbits of Mercury and the Sun. This approach contributed to the fact Oumuamua wasn't even detected until it was already heading out of the solar system. We're not really looking for objects coming in from interstellar space anyway. Typically, we are searching for objects that are connected to the formation of our solar system, which these objects may pose a threat to Earth. Number 7. The strange rotation it displays. The object is spinning around its axis at the same time having an unusual wobble and then some third type of spin. The way I heard it described was that the object must have been violently ejected from its place of origin. What that means, I'm not sure. Number 8. In order to allow for this unusual spin, Oumuamua must be composed of a dense material, such as some type of metal. We've never detected an object with this kind of composition before.
Elongated, cavity-filled, cigar-shaped, flattened, highly reflective metal object just flew right past us.
It's like the Earth itself just witnessed a UAP. But true to form, NASA jumps in to tell us how the discovery of Oumuamua is oh so exciting, yet completely mundane and explainable, eventually. All the while admitting they know next to nothing about this thing and have no plans to try to catch up with it and study it further. Number 9. Scientists categorize things. They can't categorize this, so they basically try to dismiss or downplay all the anomalous qualities. And with Oumuamua, that is difficult because everything about it is anomalous. Astronomers are simply stumped, and they're stumped because they're afraid to connect the dots. When a line is drawn between each of these anomalous characteristics, the image which emerges is that of an object that very much appears to be artificial in nature. That's where Avi Loeb, professor and chair of the Department of Astronomy at Harvard University, comes in. In January, Loeb released a book which covers Oumuamua's story in great detail and discusses his conclusions on what the object might be. I've been paying attention to the developments of this story since 2017, and I've read a few articles that he's written and things. Loeb states outright that he believes Oumuamua is an artifact from an ancient, long-gone civilization. He says that it is a piece of discarded technology from millions of years ago. Loeb has obviously been allowed to make these claims while maintaining his good reputation and position at Harvard. It seems he's spinning it from more of a space archaeology angle. Maybe that makes it more palatable to the public at large. It doesn't appear that he has risked anything by making this claim. This really is a breakthrough. A person with Loeb's credentials just 5 years ago would have been laughed out of their job. The times they are changing, Bob. The giggle factor surrounding this subject is beginning to lift. Loeb wrote an article for Scientific American in 2018 listing 6 strange aspects about Oumuamua. One of the possible explanations for the object's purpose, he writes, Oumuamua originated from a very special frame of reference, the so-called local standard of rest, which is defined by averaging the random motion of all the stars in the vicinity of the sun. Only one star in 500 is moving as slowly as Oumuamua in that frame. The SLR is the ideal frame for camouflage, namely for hiding the origins of an object and avoiding its association with any particular star. The relative motion between Oumuamua and the sun reflects the motion of the sun relative to the LSR. Oumuamua is like a buoy sitting at rest on the surface of the ocean, the solar system running into it like a fast ship. Could there be an array of buoys that serves as a network of relays or road posts defining the average galactic frame of reference in interstellar space? Indeed, that is an intriguing possibility, and it seems entirely plausible to me. Oumuamua could be one of countless fixed points around the cosmos, and as the sun and solar system speed through space, perhaps we came upon one and rushed past it. I'm sure Loeb fleshes this theory out more in his book. It does appear that Oumuamua did hightail it out of here. Perhaps that one detail alone suggests that the Big O may not be the dormant and benign tech remnant from a forgotten civilization, as Loeb suggests, but rather a fully functioning gigantic spacecraft whizzing by to take a little peek or to refuel on the sun's energy, or both. As I said earlier, the object was effectively hidden from the Earth's vantage point, dropping down directly above and passing through the solar system almost undetected. NASA has even gone on record trying to explain away Oumuamua's insane acceleration as it rounded the sun. NASA said that comets commonly display jets that can give the object a slight boost. But these types of jets are visible. Oumuamua has no visible jets and no signature associated with jets. So admittedly, NASA really has no clue what this thing is or why it behaved as it did. That image that's being used to promote the object is obviously not what Oumuamua really looks like on its surface. I know I said this earlier, but it bugs me. It was already way too far away and moving too fast to be photographed with any detail, even by the Hubble telescope, which did not allow for prolonged visual on the object. It didn't have the chops to snag a pig. The surface could have been filled with all kinds of necessary details, which would be used to determine what we are actually looking at. But now we'll never know, I guess. We have gotten a clear image of what appeared to be an unearthly satellite before. It's called the Black Knight Satellite, and some proposed it was set in place by extraterrestrials. Despite the intriguing nature of a story like this, alas, there really isn't any strong evidence that it actually exists, aside from one photo and the early reports of the very first radar systems picking up what appeared to be a satellite long before the first satellite was sent into orbit. It's mostly a flimsy story. The photo I'm referring to is from a 1988 space shuttle mission. The picture seems to show a strange object orbiting the Earth with them. The image has been debunked and said to be a thermal blanket reported to have been lost during that particular mission. I really wanted to do a video on this topic, but it truly does seem to be a hoax, and there's not much else to the story. Then, in 2019, people got very excited about the solar system's convergence with 21 Borisov as it approached. This object was supposed to be the next Oumuamua, but instead it turned out to be our first known instance of a rogue interstellar comet passing through the solar system. The fact it was coming from interstellar space was interesting. Its makeup and behavior are all normal for comets. This is in sharp contrast to how Oumuamua appears and behaves. If Oumuamua turns out to be just average interstellar junk, then there are so many more frightening Earth killers out there that we can count. Theoretically, in a few years, we will develop faster methods of travel, i.e. the Navy UFO patents. It's completely within the realm of possibility that we could actually catch back up to the object. Who knows, maybe in 50 years, a space archaeologist just might get the chance to study Oumuamua up close and personal. Tonight on WRWN, Real Weird Network's Late Late Movie. The Last Kinkades. All hell breaks loose when the last Kinkades unleash 1,000 years of pent-up fury on our hero, who has found himself in a happenstance.
What do you want with me, you thawed-out sack of meat?
You're my ticket to fame and fortune, Kinkade.
You'll never take me alive, you rotting bag of poop and blood. Eat solar sludge.
Mayday, mission control. My ship is malfunctioning, and I'm trapped out here with the last Kinkades. May God help you, sir. Daddy.